Good morning, Paul's Park. Mr. Taylor here. Welcome to Celebration Assembly. Firstly, we can celebrate some exciting news that the government have said we will all be back in school together from the 8th of March. That's the week after next. That means we have today, then 5 more school days of home learning on our screens. We're really looking forward to seeing everyone in school again, as well as seeing some of your great work online. Today, we've got lots of great examples of your home learning work to look at. Let's start with Key Stage 1. And remember, you can pause the video to look at the work for longer and be able to read all of the work shown. This week in Year 1, the children were introduced to using a ruler. Issam has completed 3 activities here. He was able to measure the red block by reading the scale on the ruler, and then he was able to draw his own block, making sure to start at 0 and finish at 12. Then he pointed out which block was longer. Well done, Issam. Year 1 and 2 are testing out materials to see whether they have the properties we need to build a wall. Naira built 3 walls to test out that you can see in her picture. She chose material characteristics for her wall to be waterproof, not bendy, and not see-through. Can you think what scientific word means not bendy? I can think of rigid. Can you think of a scientific word that means not see-through? I'm thinking of opaque. Great science. Well done, Naira. As part of the science looking at materials, Year 1 and 2 have been testing whether materials are absorbent or not. Absorbent means that the material takes in liquid. Leighton tested the objects and completed this table of his results really clearly by writing on the table. Well done, Leighton. Mohammed read the class story text shown here about Frog and Munster. He was able to answer questions about this by using inference and retrieval skills. Given different choices, he was able to read and tick the correct answer. Well done, Mohammed. You can pause and read the story yourself now, too. Let's look at lower Key Stage 2 work now. We have a science superstar in Andre. After just 1 lesson on light in science, Andre produced his own instructional video demonstrating how shadows occur and also wrote a report. He even found information on the anglerfish in his non-fiction book that you can see him pointing to on the right. Andre really has been a home learning hero. He has applied the statistics he learned in maths by taking a tally of the different breeds of dog he saw on his daily walk. Fresh air and maths, what a combination, Andre. And I know that Miss C has been very impressed with all of your work and learning online, and involving the whole family too. Well done. Asya and Levi worked hard on learning the spellings to tricky words. They also listened carefully to the teacher videos to successfully complete their grammar exercises. You can see some of their sentences here. And Mifa was so inspired by the short film, The Present, that we studied last half term, that she wrote a 3-page story all about it. And look at that amazing handwriting style. I love the way you captured and uploaded what you've written on paper, Mifa. It's important that we practice our handwriting and using a pen and pencil for when we work on paper and for when we're back in school together. Another writing wizard in Year 4 this week is Kenise, who has put great effort into her work on her spellings this week. Well done, Kenise. And Year 3 and 4 are currently the MYON reading champions of Paul's Park. You can see that last week, Year 3 and 4 were busy reading, and they read lots of books. In fact, the whole school have read over 500 books now since we started MYON a couple of weeks ago. Amazing reading, guys. Well done. Every day, Hafsa has watched and completed her phonic lesson since we started home learning. Well done, Hafsa. Keep it up. You're a phonic superstar. And after looking at Chinese New Year last Friday, we designed our own dragon masks through Seesaw. We found out that it's the year of the ox, so we filled out an ox template with all the things we associate with Chinese New Year. Well done, Sarah and Nenam. Selma gets a special shout out this week for sharing her learning and writing about Eid. She goes to the salon to have her hair done, then has henna tattoos before she goes to the mosque. She enjoys celebrating with food and family together, then goes to the fun fairs. Very exciting. Thanks for sharing, Selma. Let's have a look at Upper Key Stage 2 work now. For one of their art pre-World Book Day activities, Year 5 were creating characters from random objects and squiggles. Here's Jamel's Ghosty. And in Year 5, they've also been adding fractions. Rudley has been learning to add fractions with different numerators, showing a good understanding of how to convert fractions, so they have the same denominator. In fractions, the numerator is at the top and the denominator is at the bottom. Taya has shown great perseverance to build an understanding of how to add fractions with the same denominator, using bar models to represent calculations. You can see how clearly she's laid this out. And well done for great perseverance, Taya. Perseverance means she keeps going, she never gives up. As part of our first literacy lesson about the poem The Highwayman, Year 6 had to use clues to deduce information about the unknown characters. Having used the evidence available to deduce some accurate information about the highwayman. You can see that having deduced that the person was wealthy because they travel a lot. You can see the jewelry in the purse of gold. And look at the clothes, the cloak. This week, Year 6 were asked to appraise Banksy's artwork. Banksy is a famous graffiti artist whose work is recognised all around the world. Faith responded to this task in a thoughtful, mature way and shows she understands the messages behind Banksy's work. She thinks the pictures show creativity and artists' opinions, and thinks that graffiti connects to culture, creativity and society. Giovanni's responded to this task in a thoughtful, mature way and understood the message behind Banksy's artwork too. A big well done to Faith and Giovanni for sharing their understanding that art portrays messages and expresses views. Giovanni thinks that all graffiti is not the same because they all have different meanings. She also thinks that people do graffiti in public places so they can express the way they feel and want other people to know that. Thank you everyone for sharing your home learning. Here's your daily checklist. Keep up the effort to be the best learner you can be. Remember, learning is best when you try hard, tell yourself you can do it, and have fun learning new things. Remember to do all of your activities each day. It's really important you have a routine and do your work so you find it easier when you come back to school on the 8th of March. It helps you to get into good learning habits. Well done everyone for putting so much effort into your home learning. And make sure you attend the live registration every day to have fun with your teacher and friends. Next week, we celebrate World Book Day. You'll be invited to online events to hear stories and poems by famous people, and there's even a competition for prizes. So look out for Miss Healy's assembly on Monday and invites to events from your teachers. And remember, it's the last week of home learning next week. We'll be back in school the following week, from Monday the 8th of March. We're really looking forward to seeing you on the 8th of March. One more week of home learning after today, then we'll all be in school together again. I want to show you a video now from Islington School's Wellbeing Service, who have been teaching Year 6 about brain buddies. We hope it will help you think about 5 tips for coming back to school.
Hi, we're Nisaba and Rossa and we're school wellbeing practitioners from Islington's new school wellbeing service. During lockdown, we spoke to some young people who shared with us their worries about returning to school in September. So we thought we'd put together some top tips to help you prepare for the return to education. We hope that these will help to make the transition back as smooth as possible.
The last few months have been tough for most of us. We haven't been able to see our friends, take part in our normal activities, or go about our lives in the usual way.
There were also lots of changes with school. Schools closed and lessons moved online, which might have made it harder for you to engage with them. Some of you will have worked hard for exams and been disappointed that you didn't get a chance to sit them, or you might be pleased that you didn't have to. If you're leaving or moving on to a new school or college, you might not have been able to say goodbye to your old school, your teachers, or your friends. So given all these changes, it might take some time to adjust to going back to school, and it's understandable if some of you are feeling a bit worried. So hopefully the tips that we've put together in this video will help you to feel more confident about returning to school in September.
Tip number 1, self-care. Self-care is all about what you can do to help yourself feel better or keep yourself feeling good. It's a way that we can look after our own mental health and well-being. Everyone's approach to self-care will look different, and what works for you might not work for others. So the young people that we spoke to mentioned running, playing football, listening to music, meditation, cooking, reading, and having long baths are some of the things they've tried. The trick is to try different things until you find what works for you.
During lockdown, it's understandable that your and your family's routine might have changed, and re-establishing a routine can help to ease you back into school life. So in the lead up to going back to school, try to get yourself used to going to sleep and waking up at the same time that you would for school. Try planning your day so you have your breaks and lunch at the same time that you would with a normal school day. And the more that you practice your routine, the smoother the transition back into school life will be.
Tip number 3, plan ahead. Planning ahead for education may feel difficult because it will be a huge change from what you've been asked to do during the pandemic. You may want to try out the school journey and see what it feels like with the new guidance about wearing a mask on public transport and social distancing. Try to find out as much as you can from your school about what changes there will be to the routine at school. For example, changes to the layout of the classroom, the people you come into contact with, guidelines for social distancing and hygiene, and also what to do at break times. Remember, schools are putting these measures in place to keep you safe.
One of the young people that we spoke to said it would be a good idea to spend your time on the things that are going to benefit you, because we're not going to have this time anymore. So you might find it helpful to take some time over the next few weeks to refamiliarise yourself with some of the subjects that you might fall in behind in, and plan ahead for the new academic year. Break things down into daily bite-sized chunks that are manageable, and most importantly, reward yourself each time you complete a task.
Looking after our mental health and emotional well-being is really important, as it's something that affects all of us. Talking to a trusted friend or adult about how you're feeling, for example, going back to school or other concerns, almost always helps, and listening to other people always helps them too. Talk it out, not only if you're worried or feel scared about anything, but also if you feel excited about or looking forward to something. No matter how you feel, it is completely normal to feel a mixture of emotions, and everyone will be in the same boat. By talking to your friends, it's likely that you find that other young people share your feelings, which can be comforting to know that you're not alone.
And finally, take some time to reflect and look ahead to the new experiences that the new school year will bring. What is it that you're looking forward to about going back to school? Are you excited to be able to spend more time with friends, to go back to being in a structured routine, or are you excited to be able to get back to after school clubs and other activities?
If you find yourself getting stuck, start off with the small things. Some young people we spoke to had enjoyed the time to learn about themselves. Some had learned to cook, experimented with new music, spent more time with their families. Perhaps you can relate to some of those. You'd be surprised at how these things add up. To see the list of all the things you've enjoyed and achieved over the last few months can be very rewarding. You might find it helpful to jot these reflections down, or even share them with your friends as a way of connecting with them.
If you feel like you'd like further support with your worries, we might be able to help. Speak to someone at school who can put you in contact with our service. We hope you found this video useful.
You can talk to me, Mr. Taylor, or Maggie, or Miss Healy, as well as your familiar adults in and out of school if you want to about any of these things. And I want you to think and reflect on this question today that was in our wellbeing video. What are you looking forward to about returning to school? These are some of the thoughts Paul's Park children have said. You can write to your teacher in today's assembly activity if you want to tell them about anything you're looking forward to or worried about. You may be doing your learning at home now, but remember the values we share together at Paul's Park and in our community. Be respectful, treat others as you want to be treated, be responsible, watch your screen time but complete everything you need to, be ready to learn, follow your timetable, be ready to help others, and be ready to have fun too. Thank you for watching and listening to Celebration Assembly today. Remember, the more effort you put in, the more you learn and earn the chance for your work to be published in Celebration Assembly and to earn prizes for golden tickets when we're back in school. Thank you everyone who is helping us to learn together. Will we see your work in Celebration Assembly next week? See you soon. Have fun.